Hi everybody and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist and internationally published author, helping take your life and your business, your health, fitness, mindset and body from where you are right now to being unstoppable. And I am recording this in the mobile studio. Apologies about the road noise that you may be hearing around me. There's water on the roads and it's a bit crazy out here. Now, yesterday, I spoke to you about what's going on in my country, here in my state, in terms of COVID, and how it's really important to make sure that we're listening, we're planning, and approaching things in a slightly different way than we do in terms of getting into that hustle and bustle of life. Well, I've been fairly accurate in being able to predict what's going to go on in our region, and as of midnight tonight we are being put into another lockdown. So this will be our fourth lockdown. They're indicating at this stage it will be for 7 days, but I know there is not a lot of trust in the state government here because they've let us down before, and what turned out to be advertised, if you like, as a few weeks of lockdown over 12 months ago turned into about 7.5 months. So there's not a lot of trust there. Now, we live in a crazy world, don't we? This was announced just today. I'm on the roads right now. I guess we've sort of got some after school traffic, but most of the traffic should be going in the opposite direction to the direction I'm going, and it's crazy out here. There are so many cars everywhere. So what's going on here is that people are stripping the supermarkets bare. Like, it's 7 days, and over the last 12 months the supermarkets have never been closed, never. But people are stripping the supermarkets bare of what? Toilet paper, of things like sugar, flour, pasta, all of these types of foods that people get into their house, and they're just buying them up in bulk, thinking that they're not going to be able to get out or whatever it is. I don't know what goes through people's minds. But seriously, I haven't even been to the supermarket for a few days yet, and I'm not planning to. But people are just going crazy, and I think that's why there are so many people out right now. They're racing around doing all these things that they need to do, or think that they need to do now, because we're being locked down tomorrow. So what does it mean when we go into lockdown? Here we can only go out, used to be 4 reasons, now it's 5. Basically, we're not allowed to go more than 5 kilometres from home. We're allowed to go out for certain occupations. We're allowed to go out for medical reasons. We're allowed to go out for some medical/carer things. We're allowed to go out for some exercise, up to an hour a day, and no more than 5 kilometres from your home, because they want to cut down the people that are travelling around. And you're allowed to go out for a vaccine. Now, how does all of this apply to my life right now? Well, what it means is that my studio physically closes as of midnight tonight. I cannot have people physically into the studio. Has this ever happened before? Yes, it has. It happened for 8 months last year. So do I know what to do? Yes, because I have a plan. We just switch people over to Zoom classes. What does that mean? Well, it means that some people will stop training for a bit because they don't want to do Zoom sessions. They only want to train with me while they can come into the facility. But most will just cut over to Zoom sessions, and that's fine. Oh, the traffic here is ridiculous. I can't believe I'm coming to a stop here. Apologies for that was the iWatch ringing in the background there. I had to confirm I've got a medical appointment for my knee tomorrow, and that was them calling. I had to call them to say, look, are you still seeing people tomorrow? And they are, so I can still go in for that. But yeah, I mean, people are going crazy. They're doing all these unusual things. It's having obviously a really dramatic impact on me right now because I'm having to communicate with so many so many people. Now, they're pretty much used to it, but I've had such a busy day. Just so happened that today, like it's 4 p.m., just after 4 p.m., I had pretty much an all-day session today in a first aid course, which I have to do as part of my insurance every 3 years. And part of it's every 12, CPRs every 12 months, full first aids every 3 years, and I was due for that, and it just happened to be today. And I was back-to-back with appointments right up to going to this. Jumped out of that, my phone's been going off while I've been in there, and now I'm on my way into the hospital, which is going to be over an hour away today, to see my daughter, who is in there, and she's been really looking forward to me going in. Now, it also has an impact on us being able to go, her mum and I, we go separately, being able to visit her while she's in hospital. Now, while she's in hospital, I mean, she's only 13, she's going through a really tough time, she needs us. You can only have one person in there at a time, so that's okay, we can just coordinate that. I'm sure I'm going to be pulled over a couple of times maybe over all the trips that I'm going to be making in the next 7 days to and from the hospital, just to explain why I'm more than 5 kilometres away from my home. And yeah, I don't know what proof I need to provide them, but anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So that's something else to compete with. But yeah, right now I'm just, I need to get to the hospital, see my daughter, and then just start communicating more with all of my appointments for tomorrow, to let them know what's going on. People panic. I mean, I've already got clients saying, put my payment plan on hold. I have no income. And I do wonder why people live so close to the wind in terms of their finances, but never mind, it is what it is. So yeah, there's panic in the air right now. So what does all this mean? Well, part of COVID really excited me about starting the Mental Toughness and Body Show podcast, because we all need to just take a breath, like I said yesterday, stop, listen to what's going on, and look now for this one thing. I get you to ask this one question: where's the opportunity for me right now? Now, for me personally, things have been so crazy this year with the amount of hours I've been working. There will no doubt be more time slots that open up in my schedule. I've got clients that are, got some medical appointments and going for surgery. I just spoke to one that she's going to have a few weeks off as a result of this. I've got clients that are going to rest. I've got clients that won't Zoom. I've got clients that are just going to have basically a break. And that's okay. Have a break and let your body recover from the hard training and that kind of stuff. But this is also a great opportunity for you to do things that maybe you have just been putting on the back burner. I've got a list in my COVID strategy of things that I'm immediately going. It started out as a COVID 90-day strategy. It's now just a 90-day strategy that I keep updating. I know exactly what I'm going to go and work on when some of the craziness of today settles and I get back home in between hospital visits and all that kind of stuff. I know exactly what I'm going to work on. When you have a plan like that, it gives you confidence. I know how much I grew in the first lockdown of COVID. The second lockdown of COVID, I grew more, but I didn't achieve as much productivity. They're just different things that I did in the first lockdown compared to the second. Third lockdown, we were only in it for 5 days. But again, I look at the things that I was able to achieve in that time. So, there's a crisis. Stop. Look at the opportunity. What can I focus on? This lockdown is supposed to be 7 days. So I've got a plan that goes for 90. But I'm going to look at when we come out of lockdown and say, okay, over these next 7 days, what am I going to focus on? What are those maybe 2 or 3 things that I'm going to get done in that 7 days? Now, if I get those 2 or 3 things done, I'm talking about bigger and more important things, then fantastic. If I get them done, I can then look at other things. But I'm not going to say these are the 12 things I'm going to get done and then set myself up for failure. I want to focus on something bigger. I want to take purposeful, focused action through big blocks of time that I've got through the day, and boom, just get the stuff done. That's what worked so super well for me last time. This isn't a special quality that I've got. I don't have more knowledge than you. I don't have more skill than you. Maybe I've conditioned myself more than you, but that's all it is. It's just practice and conditioning. And as a side note, I'm glad I'm on this side of the freeway now, because it is ridiculously stopped on the other side of the freeway. Luckily tonight I'll be going home much later. But yeah, I reckon we've also got a bunch of people getting out of Melbourne. They're going to regional Victoria, but I think the whole of Victoria is shut down. But I reckon they're going to holiday homes and things like that. People just panicking. It's ridiculous how many cars are on the road right now going that opposite way. Wow. Oh, there's thousands. They're all at a standstill. I'm doing 100 and they're at a standstill. But what I've done is I've conditioned myself over so many years to stay focused and get things done. And when there's a crisis, rise to the top. Okay, don't be like everybody else and complain about, oh man, the government's shutting us down, we can't do this, we can't do that, this is crazy, blaming people. I say, we're not going to change it. Focus on what you can get done. Look for the opportunities. And for some people, it might be, well, yeah, this is a time for me to take a couple of days out because I'm so exhausted from this year. But then, don't take the whole 7 days off. Take some time out and just, boom, get into that stuff that's really important for you. I said to you yesterday about planning, listening, perfect timing. If you're local in Victoria and you're listening right now, or you're in a lockdown or going into a lockdown or may go into a lockdown in your part of the world, wherever you are, then this is a perfect opportunity for you. It really is. I get sick and tired of hearing the moans and groans from people that talk about how bad this is and how long is it going to go for and all of that kind of stuff. Just get on with it. It's not like this is happening for the first time. It's not like you haven't had plenty of time to practice this stuff. And I would say shame on you if you're in this position right now and you don't have a plan in place. Because what the hell were you doing over the last 12 months if you were based here, and certainly in Victoria, you had 8 months where we couldn't really go out and do things. And if you didn't come up with a plan in that time to create opportunity and growth for yourself, then there is something wrong with you and your thinking and not the decision makers that are around this COVID stuff. It's all with you. Because you can be successful in absolutely any environment if you want to be. If you're not, you're just choosing to think differently. You're choosing not to think about what the opportunity is and what the growth is and how you can take ownership of your destiny rather than just wait for someone to come around like Superman and save you. You have to be your own hero. You have to be. And until you realize that being your own hero in every aspect of your life, it doesn't mean that you don't have coaching and support and that right team around you, but you've got to be the driving force of the action. Until you realize that you must be your own hero in all of these areas of your life, then you are going to continue to play a victim and you are not going to get the outcomes that you truly deserve or truly want. How do I know this? Because that was me for decades, playing the victim, hoping somebody would come along and save me and I wouldn't have to do the hard work on me to work those things out to then get the results that I wanted. Now at the time, you don't think about it like that. You don't think about, oh, I need someone to come along and save me so I can work out how much I need to grow. You don't think like that. I thought, I just want someone to come along and save me. I would never verbalize that, but I'm sure that's what my thinking was. Maybe it was this next coach that would say something or do something for me so that I would get the response that I'm looking for. But no, it didn't happen. It wasn't until I made the decision to say, stop just talking about all these things and start taking decisive action for yourself to get a completely different outcome. And I chose to raise the standards of my life in every area, and I worked and I worked and I worked every single day very hard on each element that I wanted to change, and I was focused. I was absolutely focused. And I worked on my mindset every day. I worked on my body every day. And even though I worked in the health and fitness industry, and even though I felt that I was living at the cutting edge of health and wellness, there was room for me to change that, room for me to improve. And when I finally got that, like that penny dropped for me, that's when things started to change. And not in that moment, because nothing ever changed like boom, bang, life has gone from crap to fantastic. It's happened for me over a 10-year period of growth. 10 years. But the most dramatic step up, if you're drawing an upward graph from left to right, then I would say to you that it's been the last 2 to 3 years where I've had the most dramatic shift in my growth. Absolutely. And I think once you realise some of these things, that is when you start to change. I'll just pause there for a moment because I just had this strange feeling that I missed my turn off the freeway. But I have not. But if I seem a little distracted, it's because I'm changing lanes and the sun is right in my eyes. Just bear with me for a moment. All right, the traffic on the other side of the road is still ridiculous. But that's it in a nutshell. I realised that if I changed, then some of these other things were changing. And I didn't notice for years that actually when I turned around and I looked back, I could see, do you know what? I'm actually here because I've been doing all of these things for so long that you start to not even realise that you're doing them. And I'm sure if you're listening to this right now, you've had success in your life, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not like one day you wake up and you say, boom, things are just fantastic. Yesterday they weren't. It's just that you're living a successful life, you're doing the things that you want to do, and then because you've conditioned yourself to just do those things every day, it's only a particular point that you look back and you say, oh yeah, I remember when it used to be like this. And yes, it makes sense because I've been doing X, Y, Z, and A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. All of those things, I've been doing them every day, and I feel so much more focused and energized in the place that I am now because I'm doing all those things. That's what I'm talking about. And that's what you can achieve. And if you're going into a lockdown like I am right now and you've never done any of this stuff, it's time for you to commit to yourself and say, I want to change every area of my life, and maybe just pick one area, even if it is your health and your wellness, your fitness, your focus, your energy. If that is one of the ones that you want to focus on, then fantastic. Focus on that, nail it, work out all of the things that you need to, you believe, change to have an influence on these other areas of your life. And I love this as one to start with, because if you have been neglecting that side of you, it affects your immune system, it affects your energy, therefore it affects your focus, it affects your self-confidence, it just affects your productivity. It has such a flow-on effect to every other area of your life, whether it's your intimate relationship, your relationship with your kids, your business relationships, partnerships, whether it be bringing on new sales, whether it be just growing your business, making better decisions, having more energy, having a better immune system, and being more able to cope with the winter that we're about to go through and COVID and that kind of stuff. It has such a big flow-on effect. It'll affect your spirituality, it'll affect your income, it'll affect your family, absolutely everything. So that's why I love that one as a starting point. So if you want to dramatically change these areas for you in your life, then I would strongly encourage you, go to the mentaltoughnessandbodyshow.com, opt in for a free consultation, and let's make 2021 your best year ever, because 2020 has been my best year ever. 2021 has already been a fantastic year for me. I'm going to make 2021 my best year yet. If I can do it, you can do it too. Please take up the free consultation. I'd love to connect with you. Stay safe. I'm going into lockdown in a few hours' time. I'll see you tomorrow.